What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, hope you're all doing well. So about 8 months ago, I started using the Predator X34 monitor from Acer as my daily driver. When it first launched in late 2015, it was touted by many as the holy grail of gaming panels for having all the latest specs and technologies with little left to be desired. A curved ultra-wide IPS display, a 3440 by 1440 resolution, and G-Sync support up to 100 Hz to name a few. And while I still stand by most of the opinions expressed in my initial review, using the panel extensively for a prolonged period of time has revealed to me several qualities that have tainted my overall experience with this otherwise revered monitor. So today we'll be identifying 5 things I hate about the Predator X34. Now there's no denying that the panel's stylized design can steal the show from even the most glamorous rig sitting beside it, but if there's anything that can detract from the X34's aggressive stance, ironically it's the massive triangular base that sports the wingspan of a wandering albatross. Upon my modestly sized desk, accidentally running my mouse into one of the protruding base legs has become a source of constant irritation. Whether it's lightly snagging the braided cable or touching hardened tips, this is the only monitor I've owned that interferes with my daily mousing. It's hard to fault Acer here since a wider base seems like a necessary evil for an ultra-wide display, so this critique, along with some others on this list perhaps, are aimed at 21:9 screens in general. You could also argue that I've simply paired too small a desk with too large a panel, but bear in mind, plenty of users prefer to have their monitors up close and personal regardless of their desk size, especially to enhance the wraparound immersion that's offered by ultra-wide screens, in which case, they too may find the X34 base to be obnoxiously wide, despite its charming good looks. I was going to add the outrageous price tag as the next item of scrutiny to our list here before feeling like it would be sort of a cop-out, so instead let me just say that a monitor costing well over $1,000 should include some degree of swivel adjustment, which the X34 does not. Sure, you get height and tilt, but over the years I've grown dependent on my beloved swivel for a number of tasks, like sharing the screen with others or to quickly access the back of my panel. And this goes double for a large, heavy monitor that doesn't move easy. Call me lazy, but for $1,100 I have a friggin' right to be. At this point, a third-party stand or VESA arm seems like a perfect solution, assuming you don't mind pouring even more money into your pricey panel. Enough about the base and stand though, there's so much more to hate about this monitor. Take its external power brick for example. I will say off the bat that add-on power supplies are typically cheaper and easier to replace than onboard units should they fail, but that's where their convenience ends for me. For starters, tidy cable routing is often more difficult when objects other than cables are involved. A large brick is harder to hide and doesn't fit behind your desk quite as easily. I had to pull my desk out a few inches from the wall just to conceal the monolithic tumor from public view. There's also an additional connection that can fail or come unplugged with such power supplies. Perhaps worst of all, particularly for someone like me who moves hardware around constantly, is that the power cable has to follow the monitor everywhere it goes, since you can't use a standard AC power cord. It'd be great if I could just pull a spare AC cable from my spare AC cable drawer, but no! Instead I'm left to fishing out a brick from behind a desk, which for most of us is a pain in the neck all too familiar. The next caveat may sound especially silly because it's also one of the top selling points of this product, but it goes without saying that an ultra-wide monitor takes up an ultra-wide amount of space on your desk, potentially leaving little to no room for much else. Again, this is partially me suffering from undersized desk syndrome, but over time I've learned ultra-wides incorporate their own special brand of bulkiness. A dual monitor setup, for example, at least offers the flexibility to pivot and arrange the panels independently in order to optimize desk space, a luxury I always took for granted until adopting Acer's beastly display. Having a 34-inch ultra-wide is also why my left speaker sits behind the gargantuan panel, which makes my heart go out to my left ear and its infinite loneliness. The biggest disappointment, however, is that such a monitor ruins any chance for me or other small desk users of having a secondary display. A common misconception here is that there's hardly a need for a companion monitor when you have a 21:9 panel, which leads us to our last quibble here, that a single ultrawide monitor, in my opinion, is far less convenient than a dual panel setup for productivity tasks like editing and streaming. Don't get me wrong, for gaming in full screen mode, ultrawide is currently as good as it gets, but the elongated aspect ratio makes the screen feel vertically challenged when working in a program like Adobe Premiere Pro. To note one example, the joy of being able to see 35% more of my project timeline at any given moment is sadly overshadowed by having less room for vertically expanding my video and audio tracks. As it turns out, ultra-wide is just a more positive way of saying ultra-short. Having dual monitors for streaming is also a setup I miss terribly. Things were simple back then. I'd have my game running in borderless windowed mode on one display, with XSplit, Twitch chat, and the like on the other. Having two displays offered a natural partition that helped organize my windows when multitasking. Streaming on the Predator X34, however, brings too many windows to one screen, and I definitely spend a lot more time resizing them to make everything fit properly. Those are valuable seconds that I'll never get back. And for that, I hate you, X34. I hate you so much. By now you guys are probably wondering why I'm still using this display at all. It seems I'd be better off throwing it down a well, or giving it away to one of you, I'd imagine. But despite me tearing it a new one, the X34 has countless redeeming qualities that I've detailed in my review, and still remains, in my eyes, one of the best gaming monitors currently on the market. Plus it looks great in the background of my videos, can't complain there. When I move into my new studio office in August, however, the X34 will retire its position as my daily driver and will most likely be used exclusively for gaming, which is of course what it's best at. That's all for now, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of all these fancy schmancy ultra-wide monitors, and don't forget to toss me a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Before you guys go, feel free to check out Bitwit Ultra, my ad-free early access channel for $1.50 a month. The first 2 weeks are completely free, and you can back out any friggin' time. As always, I'm God with Bitwit. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next video.